in a cashless society, not taking all your money, not taking all the money out of society. I don't know if the government got the memo that cashless doesn't mean that you take all the money out of society for yourself. It's just a transfer of currency from a physical to a digital. That's it. Government, get the memo, please. How far away is a cashless society and what does it mean? Again, in order to go cashless, we need Wi-Fi, we need internet, we need digital infrastructure. We need digital infrastructure, and we need excellent digital infrastructure. It cannot be mediocre. The only way Jamaica can go cashless in segments. First, the corporate area would have to be robust. Robust means that it's scalable. It means that something that you know, like, oh, you have, let me see, something that is scalable, that is physical. A network is scalable. A really good computer network is scalable because, for example, if you have a computer network at work with 10 people, you have an office space with 10 people, only 10 people in the building, 10 computers. But then you decided that you want 10 more people. In a robust work environment, you can add 10 more computers without affecting production at all. You just plug them in and it starts working. That's robust. We would have to have robust network throughout the entire country, because going cashless suggests that you'll have to have devices, multiple devices, continuously having devices. You'll have to have phones being device. Every device would have to have a connection to a network. That's what cashless would suggest. If you decided to get a loan in a cashless society, and think about it, going cashless, do you really think that we would still have banks? I can't imagine having banks. There would be a way that you get your loan by applying on the phone. You'd go through a virtual assistant. Now, this is where it becomes tricky, going cashless, right? You would have to, and this is a part of, this is laying the framework for that. Going cashless enhances artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is necessary to go cashless, but having an environment where data is continuously flooding that environment, it also enhances AI, because AI is machine learning. It's like teaching a system. It's teaching a computer, teaching a robot. That is AI. Everything, if everything is connected to a network, then you continuously teach that network. That's how Jamaica can become first world. That's how they can go forward. We're not there. That's the idea behind it. That's the idea. And I guess somebody sold that idea to the government of Jamaica. But I'm not even, Jamaica, I went to University of Technology. I understand technology. I'm sure I was taught by somebody at a school who understands it just the same, or even better than I do. Right? But the idea behind going cashless is just mining data. It's called data mining. You have a mine with gold. You go there and you mine gold. You develop wealth. If you mine data, you develop wealth. Just the same. You go on TikTok and you play games and you laugh and you talk and you give information. They learn your typing pattern. They learn your fingerprint, your eyes, everything. It's data. It's mining data, right? That's what Jamaica is trying to do, but they don't even know how to do it. It's stupid, right? So it's robust digital infrastructure, meaning that it's scalable. It's continuously being built. It's like a chip. You add one piece, it becomes bigger. It's like, I don't know if you ever see a computer, like a big billboard. They could use 4 computers or 10 computers, 4 monitors or 10, and it become one monitor. It's like it just continuously built up. That's what we need. We'd have to have a digital infrastructure that is robust. It keeps on growing. It grows like a robot. A robot in the sense of AI. It continuously grows. It gets more information. It becomes more knowledgeable. And also, as it gets more knowledgeable, it spreads out. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But when I said you need you would not have banks. I really don't think we would have banks. We would have augmented reality as well. Augmented reality suggests that you'd have virtual assistants that takes the form of AI. Virtual assistants that uses AI, that works with AI. It even seems like a science fiction at the moment, but that's where we're going. That's what they're trying to do. Augmented reality and artificial intelligence eliminates the need for people to do even protesting. Why would teacher argue about salaries when they don't even need money, right? That's what 7 years from now look like. We wouldn't have banks. As I said, I'm walking through this one more time. Mobile and digital payments. How do you make payments right now with your phone? You'd have to be able to do that from anywhere in Jamaica. If you sit under a tree somewhere, you should be able to make a payment. You should be able to make a purchase and a payment. That's mobile and digital payment systems. You should be able to make a payment mobilely and digitally. Financial inclusion suggests that everybody can do the same thing with their mobile. Everybody can make that same financial, won't say decisions, but if they decided to make a payment, they have the same infrastructure, they have the same coverage, they have the same security, they have the same information, they're protected the same way. The government needs to have regulation that is fair and biased, not like the kind that give one segment of society a 300% increase and the other a 30% incremental increase over 5 years. Not that kind of government support and regulation. You'll have to have government support that allows everybody to have similar experience in a cashless society, not taking all your money, not taking all the money out of society. I don't know if the government got the memo that cashless doesn't mean that you take all the money out of society for yourself. It's just a transfer of currency from a physical to a digital. That's it. Government, get the memo, please. The educational awareness. So they need to have education and awareness. They need to educate themselves first of all, to be honest. Government need to educate themselves, because you come out and you tell people, hey, we're going cashless, and you're saying that people are not giving context. You did not give context. The average person who do not care about technology, or who doesn't even have a real need to use technology. Imagine technology became important during COVID, where everybody had to have some internet so that they could conduct remote learning, school from home, that kind of thing. It is, for some people, it's new, still new. For the government, the information would be available to them years ago. But those people who work in universities and in technology companies, and even just working with technology overall, they may have some education and some awareness, but not everybody would have that. So the education and the awareness suggests that the public education awareness campaign would be necessary to just have people familiar with what it means to go cashless, because it takes a lot. They would have to get familiar with this. The government talk about context. Where's the context that they provide? Going cashless and taking all the money for themselves is not the true education that we need. Because let's say that people are not capable of interpreting things for themselves. Then they have concerns regarding security policies and the advantages and the disadvantages that comes with the transactions, right? People will have those kind of concerns. The government will have to provide education to these people. The merchants, have you ever gone to a Chinese supermarket? realizing that they only takes cash, and they like US dollars more than how they like even Jamaican currency. Yes, not everybody, not all merchants will take a credit card. And that's true for America as well. There are people in America who will not take a credit card because the merchants stand to lose a lot with a digital currency. Why? They cannot hide the money. And they will have to pay a percentage in taxes. Huge percentage, actually. So there are some merchants who will not adapt to a cashless society readily. There are lots of problems that comes with going cashless. So education and awareness is one, but you know what's one of the problems that comes with education? The more educated you are, unless you are an honest person, the more dangerous you are. Think about it. That's a perspective that I have. The educated people, the information is power. When I said data, in technology, data and information is exactly the same thing. It's just two different words. One of them translates to technology, the other is just layman terms, but they're both the same thing. Information is key. Think about this. The Cold War. The Cold War is a war that started maybe in the 90s, in the 1980s through up to the 1990s. Might have ended around 1990, 1991, somewhere there. But did it really end? Cold War was between the Soviets and the USA. And you didn't find a lot of weapons being used. Instead, it was a propaganda war. Cold War was really information war. And it's ongoing. It never stopped. The information war is ongoing. Never stopped. So, technically, information war is the Cold War. Information is power. Imagine there was a time when people fought wars with a certain amount of violence. Now it's information, and it's even more devastating than physical violence. Think about it. The government have information that the public doesn't have. They have it early. They get it before everybody else. And they could use that as a weapon against people. That's dangerous. Now, as I said, merchants would also have information early enough, because think about you creating a business. You'd have to do some research. You'd get information that the customer don't have, and you could use that information against the customer. Information is key. Merchants' adoption of cashless. Example of merchants not embracing cashless society would be that accepting alternative payments. That's an example of a merchant not adapting to cashlessness. And that's my word. I don't know if it's a real word. Now, the gaps. Addressing the gaps. There are countries in the world that have gaps. You think about, as I said, example before. You think about two mountains. Everything in between is a valley. It's a gap between in the mountain. That's what the gaps in Jamaica look like, where technology is concerned. You cannot bridge those gaps very easily. You have to. We have a lot of time. There are so much things that need to be done to bridge those gaps. It's difficult to even start thinking about it. And the problem that comes with gaps like that is the security and privacy associated with it. Most people, even if you had physical cash, if you have some cash underneath your mattress, there's a major security risk. First of all, it's a problem to the government because they really wouldn't have any idea how much money is in the country. because you might have $1 million under your bed. The government cannot track how much money you have. That's a problem. They would prefer if the money is in the bank, and then if they need to take that money for themselves for any reason, then they can. So that kind of security, they're securing the money for themselves under the disguise of securing it for you. And they want to keep it private from your family. So the privacy is not for you, it's for them. A transition period and alternatives. As I said, 2030 is a destination for the world. And a lot of the decisions that are being made now is to bridge that transition period, is to start that transition period. The flip side to cashless society and getting it right in Jamaica is that Jamaica could bridge the gap between the third world and the first world. That's the flip side. But it would require sacrifice. And a lot of people would be sacrificed for that. A lot of people would suffer, struggle. A lot of people would be sacrificed because you'll ultimately get the finances that you need as a country. You'll get there, but at what cost? And when you get there, you'd be there among the big guns, because at that point, it's digital. You do not need physical labor to get things done. You would have, at that point, AI and AR. Those are acronyms that we should get familiar with. Artificial intelligence and augmented reality. Sounds like sci-fi movie at the moment, but it's not. It's not. Example of artificial and augmented is just seeing a example of augmented reality is, I try to remember, man. You see those, have you ever seen like, for example, there was a concert with Tupac, the same Tupac who is no longer with us. And he was performing, you saw the image, you hear the music, he was reacting like he was singing, he was doing everything. That is an artificial intelligent image, like a mirage. I just can't remember the name. If you remember the name of what that is, somebody could drop it in the chat. It's only 5 of us, man. I truly appreciate it. But yeah, that's where it's going. And again, saying that we could provoke an unrest, you probably, as I said, Jamaica would have to get rewritten instead of upgraded. An unrest would rewrite Jamaica. So the unrest would have to be strategic. If we're going cashless, it means that it's touchless. It's touchless. It's you at your phone making a transaction. Any kind of unrest in Jamaica would have to be touchless. You stay on your phone and make your voice heard. That's it. This right here, me saying what I'm saying right now, is an example of a protest. This is an example of a protest. This is what awareness look like. I'm telling you right now, going cashless have benefits and disadvantages. Jamaica would not benefit as much as you think. Seeing those trucks and ATM machines being targeted is an example of how one might be prompted to make an impulsive decision. To say, you know what, my physical money is not safe. Let's do something differently. We're not there yet. This is what touchless look like. You just voice your opinions. And everybody else who ever go on any platform, whether you're listening, whether you are participating, if you're gaining information, it's good. Share it with somebody. If at some point you choose to create a platform for yourself, good. Invite me, let's talk. I'll be your co-host. We could talk. I have information as well. I research. But touchless. Going cashless means touchless. If there's an unrest in the country, it should be touchless. You have phones. You ever realize how much pressure you can put on an important person just with information? They don't like information that is negative. No need for real unrest. But if one ever got provoked in Jamaica, it would be to the detriment of the regular person. Because then those people who continuously rewrite the rules and laws, they will be rewriting those in their favor. Would not be favorable to the country. And seeing this kind of unfair situation without getting any kind of international intervention, it would not be the same. When the little people make a decision to do big things, then the attention becomes negative. It would not be peaceful. The intervention that comes from outside of the country would not be peaceful. Doing it online would be peaceful though. And it would be powerful. So for those who stick with me throughout tonight, it's been a while since I've done any lives, even make a good video, to be honest. I have usual talk about cricket, recently track and field. And when I'm not doing it on the internet, I'm just talking. So thanks for sticking with me. Truly appreciate it. I'll wrap this one up right here. But I'm going to say thank you again, Merrick Meredith, big up yourself. Kelleen, Journey with Kelleen, big up yourself. Truly appreciate you stopping by. Rewrite the narrative, like, share, subscribe. I want to say one more time. Cashless Jamaica does not mean that the government should take all the cash for themselves. It's a transition of currency from cash to information. It's not where we are right now. Most places cannot handle it. There are several things to consider if you choose to go cashless in the world. We have to have a proper digital infrastructure. And this means that you need a robust network, mobile network, and internet all over the country. You need to have mobile and digital payment systems like your phone. That's one of the broadest mobile payment. And your credit card digital payment. That would never be physical payment. It's physical, but it's still using tap wireless payment. You need financial inclusion. So if the rich can use it, the poor should be able to use it. You need government support and regulation. The government should be able to regulate it such that the rich and the poor benefits equally. We need education and awareness. The information should reach everybody at the same time, and everybody should have equal amount of information. That's the education and awareness. Merchant adoption should not be where the merchants are able to decide whether or not they're going to use cashless means of payments. It should be blanket. The merchants need to use whatever is whatever is regulated. Addressing the infrastructure gap. There's so much problems with infrastructure in Jamaica right now. We do not have Wi-Fi in rural areas. There's no way that we can go cashless if the shop in the country would not be able to retrieve payment. That would only force a shop out of business. It should force a hardware out of business. Everything would be centralized to the small towns and the large towns. That is a problem to begin with. Collaboration and international standard. That would probably become one of the first things to get fixed, because the government would be looking out for what makes them look good. That wouldn't be the biggest problem in the world. But those are 10 problems that would affect a country trying to go cashless. Drop your comments down below. Let me hear your voice. Rewrite the narrative. Like, share, subscribe.